All right. Another writing video. These come out every Wednesday and Sunday and the occasional Friday. So watch them all. 2 or 3 a week. Let's do this together. I always get a lot of great ideas from people. I never write them down. I never remember. I mean, I write the idea down. I never remember who did this. So somebody gave me this idea as well. And thank you, whoever you are. And keep giving me ideas. Keep commenting. Keep saying, hey, this might make a good video. And you know what? I add it to the list, and I kind of go through the list. I don't do them in order. I just kind of pick and choose. And so this one is about reading my reviews, or in my case, not reading my reviews. I stopped reading my reviews a long time ago. And it's three reasons. First off, I'm a firm believer that the reviews of your book are for other readers. Okay. People will post a review to help other people figure out if they want to read this book or not. Now, there's a lot of reviews that are. I'm just going to say it, and I might annoy a reader or two here. I'm just going to, again, Armand's opinion. A review that says great book or awful book, 5-star, 1-star, whatever. That's not a review, really. That really doesn't tell the other readers anything. You took the time to read this book. You also took the time to sit down and leave a review. Give me something else. And it doesn't have to be a giant paragraph. It doesn't have to be the ins and outs of the book. Basically, love the characters. I'm a huge fan of this author. Give me something. Give me 2 to 3 lines of something about the book that you really liked. Love this series so far. Oh, James Gaffney is my favorite character now. I didn't see the twist coming at the end. Those kinds of things are what we're looking for as readers. I want to know, good or bad, what's wrong with this book. A review that drives me crazy is a synopsis of the plot. It's this giant block of everything about the book, and sometimes people are putting a spoiler. They're telling you the twist. Oh my God. I could not believe when I got to the end and it turns out that the mom wasn't the killer. Mom's been dead for 100 years. It was the son-in-law. Don't do that. Don't ruin it for other readers. Why would you be that kind of jerk? You're the kind of jerk reader that after you saw Titanic, you went and spoiled it and told everybody that the boat hit an iceberg. That's the kind of person you are. Anyway, so those kinds of reviews are not helpful. You're doing it because you're being helpful to your fellow reader, okay? Occasionally, I would see reviews where they would talk about, I don't know, something, the writing, something was wrong with the writing. Or there's too many typos in this book. This book needs an edit. In this one scene, the person had pants on and then they're wearing a dress. Like those kinds of things. All right, so you're going to nitpick through the review. I get it. Like those things take you out of the story. I get it. I'm not saying that you ignore those things. I just think if that's your whole review is based on that, basically, and that's also, I see a lot of those, again, Armand's opinion. I see a lot of those are failed writers, wannabe writers, people who think they can do better, but they're never going to get off their butts and do it. So, I don't understand what's going on with that. Here's the bottom line for me why I stopped reading my reviews, and it's really simple. I'm probably borderline insane at this point. I take everything to heart, okay? I've mentioned this before. I'm not going to go into a big thing. I was bullied as a kid in school. and I am very what do you call it? I'm that. Whatever that is. I can't even think of the word. As a writer, I can't even think of a word. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good move. I'm keeping all of this in, by the way. I get very emotional. Okay, I get very defensive. If you make fun of me, if you call me out on something, whatever. And so I would read a review. Okay, so it would say 4-star review. Okay, first off, I said 4 stars. Why can't it be 5-star? In my mind, what was wrong with my book that it's only a 4-star, not a 5-star? Okay, so right off the bat, before I've even read the review, I have attitude in my head about it. And again, it's a reader's opinion, so it shouldn't matter to me. I shouldn't even be reading the review because that review is not for me. That review is not, hey, author, these are the things I hated and loved about your book. No, that review is, hey, other readers, this is what I loved or hated about this book. And so, an airplane going by. So here's the bottom line. I would read that review and it would say, oh my God, great characters in this book. I loved such and such a character and their interactions. Loved it. Good plot to this. It kept me entertained. And then I would stop. And I would say, great characters, good plot. So they didn't like my plot. That's where my brain would immediately go. Oh, so they only liked my plot. They didn't love my plot. It's not great characters, great plot. Which again, you give me a 4-star, I get it. And you know what? And not everybody likes everything. You're right. I 100% get that. I published 400 or 500 stories at this point in my life, so I get it. 100% I get it. But I could not get past that. That lived rent free in my head for hours, sometimes days. It would just completely throw me. Never to the point where I was like, well, I have to write better. I have to write something different for people. But I would be mad that person found my book. And again, it's not a bad review at all. 99.9% of people reading that would not go, oh, great characters, but only good plot. This is going to be an awful book. No, nobody does that except for me. So, those things. And I was constantly looking at reviews. Okay. Constantly on Amazon looking at reviews. Constantly on BookBub, constantly on Goodreads, constantly whenever somebody posted a review on their website or whatever. I was searching. I was Google searching my name, Armand Rosamilia reviews like crazy, looking everywhere, trying to find everybody talking about me reviews. And then I would get upset. Most of the time, I would be annoyed. And for me, that was like, what is this really helping? Is this really helping mentally? Is this helping me? No. So I would stop reading the reviews, especially like on 1-star reviews. Those were soul crushing for me because it felt like the reader hated me, and I didn't like that. I'm too emotionally frail to look at those and be like, oh, no big deal. Oh, so this guy didn't like my book. This woman didn't like my book. No big deal. Let's move on. No, there was no moving on. Very uncomfortable today. So for me, those bother me. And I'm going to tell you what really started bothering me as a little aside. Goodreads, when you could give a starred review without saying anything. And then it bled over into Amazon, where I'm like, oh, I got 50 reviews on this book. And I looked and I'm like, 48 of them are just stars. So how is that helping other readers? It's not helping at all. I don't understand the system. Okay. I leave a lot of reviews. I'm guilty of the giving the stars thing. You're just going to be like a 3 or 4-star book. And I just like, man, I'm not going to do a YouTube review of this book. I liked it. I didn't love it. It was all right. I got through it. There were some good parts, but nothing really to talk about. Okay. nothing, and I'm not going to do a review of, hey, this book just was like every other book where people are scuba divers, you know, or whatever. So I was just like, I'm not gonna waste my time doing those type of reviews, and I'm not gonna put up there. And so again, I'm gonna call readers out now and for something that I'm doing also. So I apologize for that. That's not good. Every now and then, I'm either in a really, really good mood or I'm in a really, really bad mood, and I go into my Author Central in Amazon, and I go to the reviews, customer reviews link, and I start reading them, and then about 10 or 12 in, I get mad. I'm mad at myself for reading them, but I'm also mad because I'm like, especially when like somebody doesn't get it. Okay, somebody when you start a review off of, I normally don't read crime thrillers. This is why I gave it a 2-star review. Well, then what are you reading my book for? Why are you knocking my algorithm down? Why are you hurting what I'm trying to build here? This is my career. Where do you work? Huh? Because I'm going to give you a 2-star review, buddy. And that's literally how my mind works. I'm getting worked up now, even thinking about it. I'm not even reading reviews. So that's part of the problem. Okay. That's a big part of the problem. It's me. It's not you. It's me. I look at for the bad in every review that I read of any of my books. If your review was, this was the greatest book I have ever read in my life, my mind immediately goes, well, has this person passed away? Because there's still time to find a better book than this. And that's going to be a problem. Are they going to come back and change their review? This is the second greatest book I've ever read because I've lived another 10 years. I mean, is that, five stars, but you can only give me up to 5 stars. Is that book now a 6-star? Again, that's the way my brain operates. So everything feels like an attack sometimes. And that's just mentally, that's just me. And there's no way I'm the only one out there that thinks this way. There's no way. And I have authors who read every review and they share every review and they love every review and on and on. And that's great. If you can mentally handle that, knock yourself out. Okay? I'm sure promoting those 5-star reviews hopefully will only help you to gain more readers, more people buying your books. Okay, maybe that ultimately is my problem. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. The greatest review I have ever gotten, and I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again. So if you've heard this story, just listen to it anyway. Maybe I'll tell it different this time. I think I've said this on a writing video. There's a book right there behind that thing you can't see called Toolshed. And I had originally put this book out as it's a novella. I put it out on Amazon for like 99 cents or whatever. And it was out for a while. I was getting some good feedback from it, some good reviews. It's an older book. I mean, it's definitely more than 15 years old. Might even be like 20 years old at this point. Who knows? The original version of it. And I get a 1-star review on the book. And this is back when I was reading my reviews. I was very excited. I had a handful of books out. I'm very excited. 1-star review. Might have been one of the first 1-star reviews that I can remember. And I was like, what's going on? And I read the review, and I kid you not, the name of the book is Toolshed. The review was about someone who had purchased a tool shed from Sears. And they gave their review 1 star because the sides didn't match up. They didn't give you enough bolts and screws for it. The instructions weren't on and on and on about this guy trying to build an actual tool shed in his yard. And it wasn't working. And I was like, what? This doesn't make, why are you just Just you found Toolshed and you just posted it up there. There's a book cover. You can see a book cover. So I call Amazon and I explain it to the person. Back when you used to be able to call Amazon and get somebody on the phone. And the guy on the other end was laughing his butt off. He thought that was hysterical. I thought it was hysterical. And so he immediately took it down, and then my number immediately went back up. And to this day, that might be like if somebody says, what's the one regret in your career? It would be not copying that review first. It would be just letting them delete that review for me. Because man, I would love to read that. I would be posting that up on a Substack. I would be reading it on a YouTube video. I mean, you don't get any more brilliant than that. Like that's a great review, right? Hey, my best 1-star review. It's about an actual tool shed. So there you go. So here's the thing too. I don't want to seem like a jerk, like, oh, I don't care about your reviews. Reviews are super important. Okay. Every now and then, if I click on one of my books, I will look and see how many reviews it has, and I'll try to remember how many reviews did I have. There's books I have that have a ton of reviews. There's a lot of books that have hardly any reviews, 1 or 2 or 3, not even 10 reviews on them. Keep giving those reviews, please, as a reader, not only for my books, but for all books, because it definitely helps. Again, it helps the sales. It helps the algorithms. It helps this career. Okay. So I truly appreciate you leaving a review. I'm not going to read your review, but I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate you taking those few minutes of your time, of your busy day, to sit down and write something, a review about my book. Now, please stop with the synopsis of the entire book. Nobody wants to read that. Anybody who's mildly interested in to read the back book description of my book, and they're going to know what the book is about. They don't need you to basically break it down. I've seen a lot of reviewers now using AI, and they're breaking down the entire plot of it, and it's just why are you doing that? Enough with the AI stuff. Enough with that stuff. The last time I checked one of my books, I don't remember which one, somebody had posted a review, 4-star review, but it basically broke down. It was poignant, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you didn't write that. AI wrote that. And I'm like, I don't know why you wasted it. You couldn't write 2 or 3 sentences on your own. You had to let AI write that for you. It makes no sense. None sense. So there you go. That's why I don't read my reviews, okay? Because mentally I can't handle it. I should have said that. We would have had a minute video instead of 18 to 20 minute video. I want to thank everybody for hitting the subscribe button. I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch these writing videos, 2 or 3 a week. Come hang out with me live. I write live on YouTube 3 to 5 days a week. So there's a lot of stuff going on here on this channel, Armand's Opinion. Let everybody know. Let your friends know. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out with me. So let's keep this going, people.